Hi, welcome back everyone. Today we have a different kind of video. Today I'm going to show off my collection. I've been collecting since like July of this year really, but I started collecting back when I was in middle school and then into high school, and I kind of stopped halfway through college because I didn't have a job. So a lot of these series are series I've really never talked about on the show here, the channel. Because it's been so long since I read them. This bookshelf me and my girlfriend made together. It was mostly her because it was supposed to be a gift to me, but I did help her out quite a bit with all this stuff as well. And we also still have a lot of work to do. You can see some of the cords down there and everything, but I think it looks great otherwise. I have to clean up a little bit more still, but I wanted to get this video out to you guys as a thanks for hitting 100 subs. It means so much to me to hit 100. Some people it might seem like a small milestone, but for me it's pretty cool. So let's go through this collection. I'll break it down a series at a time. I'll post little small clips to start with, and then one big video for everyone who likes to binge watch these things, okay? So without further ado, let's start. The next series is Darker Than Black. Darker Than Black follows the plot of this weird spatial anomaly called Heaven Gate that was opened shortly after the opening of Hell's Gate in Tokyo. Heaven's Gate opens up in South America, Hell's Gate in Tokyo. This alters the sky and wreaks havoc on the landscape. The real stars then begin to disappear and are replaced by false stars. During this time, people possessing various special abilities called contractors emerge, each capable of different supernatural feats. Each contractor corresponds to a fake star in the sky, so this reacts to their activities. As such, contractors are usually identified by their stars. So you can look up these people, see their stars, and then kind of figure out more about them that way. This is often kept secret from the masses, but these individuals are known to murder in cold blood and have no longer any emotions and only think with logic and rationality. Their incredible abilities, however, are gained at the cost of their humanities. Get it? See, so they have to pay the price. And each time their power is used, they can have issues such as eating from particular foods or completing meaningless tasks to self-harming their bodies or changing their bodies in weird ways. So each time you use this ability, you lose a piece of yourself. Various nations and organizations around the world utilize contractors as spies, assassins, resulting in violent battles, yada yada yada. So I never watched this, but I did buy the manga, which was probably not smart. I remember reading it and not really getting what's going on. There's only 2 volumes, so this is the only one. It's like a 2-in-1 omnibus. There is another series called Darker Than Black Jet Black Flower. This replaces the OVA in the second season, so I don't think it's canon. Maybe it is. It's written by the same guy who made the first season and the second season in the OVA, so it's really tough to say. So this is written by Tensei Okamura and then illustrated by Nokia. You guys might know Nokia as as Naoshi Komi. Naoshi Komi, you definitely know as the guy who does Nisekoi. So, yeah, that's what he was up to. Back in the old days, he actually made the Darker Than Black manga, apparently, which I didn't ever know. But that's what Wikipedia tells me. It says that it was illustrated by Nokia, but Naoshi Komi released the series to 2 tankobon on August 8th and January 26th, 2008, respectively. So I think that means Nokia is Naoshi Komi. I don't really know. But somehow he was involved in this manga. So that's always a cool piece of history to have a mangaka's work before they really take off like that. Such as it did with Nisekoi and Naoshi Komi. So something cool about Deadman Wonderland, which I never knew, is Kautaka Jinsei. A is a woman. That one I knew. She also has done Livingstone, all in her. She did the art for it. She does it says story and art for Eureka 7, but I think that she actually worked with the same person she worked with on this, and Smoking Parade. But yes, Jinsei is actually married to Kazuma Kondo, or Kondo Kazuma, however you want to say it. Anyways, the two are married, and so he does the art and she does the story. So I thought that was awesome. He's worked with everything, at least that she's done besides Livingstone. That's the only thing that is not credited there. In any case, back to Deadman Wonderland. Deadman Wonderland is essentially about the main character Ganta. Ganta is falsely accused of murdering his entire class, as he's an escapee of the great earthquake that happened 10 years ago and ravaged most of Tokyo and a lot of Japan's mainland. But he has no memories of really this. However, when Ganta's in class one day and he sees the whole class get murdered, he sees a red man with an embedded crystal shard in their chest. And he puts one into Ganta. This gives Ganta the ability to control his blood. So this turns him into something called a Deadman. He goes to court to say, listen, man, I totally didn't do this. Nobody believes him because they think he's just like a loose screw. He's a total psychopath. And they send him to jail at this one place called Deadman Wonderland. So Deadman Wonderland is this gigantic prison full of people, and there's a secret ward. And in that secret ward is where all the people who can control blood are, okay? And so in this spot, these people have to fight each other in order to kind of survive. And they're given a poison, like, in their collar, that if they try to leave, the poison will go through. If they can't afford this thing called candy, which is an antidote, they'll die. So they have to be careful. So they have to keep fighting in this tournament thing. This tournament thing is determined by just like random roulette, and the loser loses a piece of their self. Okay, so they lose like an organ, an eye, a finger. Sometimes it's just hair. It's all different. It's just totally random. So that's where that all kind of comes from. They call it Deadman Wonderland because the people who can control their blood is called Dead. They're called Deadman. This used to run on Toonami or on Adult Swim. But yeah, so this is like a pretty good manga. I heard the anime wasn't so good. I don't think the anime follows the ending to the manga. But it's only a 13-volume series. I have all 13 volumes, but I've lent them over to my brother so he can finish it up. But I didn't give him 13, so I could have at least one volume to showcase while I did this recording. So yeah, that's Deadman Wonderland. I really like this series. I think the ending's kind of rushed, but it wasn't bad, But definitely one to read through for sure. I wouldn't really watch it, since if the anime's got a different ending, I doubt it's better than the manga ending, because the manga ending wasn't great, but it was pretty good. It just felt a little rushed. This next series, Death Note, really doesn't need me to say anything about it. You guys all know what Death Note is, I'm sure. Even people who don't watch anime or read manga know exactly what Death Note is. I don't know how they know, but everyone knows. So Death Note is about this guy who gets a notebook from the Shinigami world, and then if he writes a name in it, people will die. The cause of death is usually determined by the writer, but you can leave it blank and it'll be a heart attack. Pretty cool, series. I have all of the regular, and then I ordered all the black editions. I don't have them yet. I'm waiting for them to come in. They look so sick. Death Note has so many different stories. They have a manga that just came out called Death Note, a Kira story, like Akira. This went in Shonen Square or Jump Square on February 4th, 2020, so just last year. They also have a few movies. Death Note, Relight 2, L Successors. They have... What else do they have? Death Note, Relight, Visions of a God. An anime series that ran for 37 episodes. Wow, that's longer than I thought. Death Note, Another Note, The Los Angeles BB Murder Case. This is a book, and it's actually written by Nisio Isin, the same guy who does Juni Taisen, Madoka Box. I think those are really his two most notable works. But yeah, there's even live-action movies about Death Note. We have a 2006 film called just Death Note 2, The Last Name. L changed the world. Death Note 2015 TV drama. Death Note the musical. Death Note New Generation, a miniseries. I've actually never read that. Could be good. Probably not, but I'll have to give that a watch. Death Note Light Up the World, which is a sequel to that. And Death Note 2017 Netflix film, which was super cringe. If you guys like cringy things, this is your thing, okay? So yeah, Death Note has a ton of stuff. You, cannot go anywhere without hearing Death Note. Oh, and somehow that Death Note Netflix film has a sequel in the works. That's hilarious. So yeah, Death Note's super common. People have tried to ban it, copyright it. I don't know why. But, of course, China bans Death Note in the schools because they alter Death Notes, or they alter notebooks to look like Death Notes, so they think it's like a crime to kill people, things like that. It's written by Oba and Obata. And these guys have been, of course, kind of geniuses ever since this came out. I like pretty much every series they've came out with, to some degree. Ralgrad's probably my least favorite. But yeah, they have All You Need Is Kill, they have Bakuman, they have another one that the name escapes me right now, that the second I hit finish on recording, I'm going to remember it, called Platinum End, that's it. Platina End. Anyways, those have all been pretty good. Platinum End actually just most recently finished up, so if you guys are interested in it, now's probably the time to get into it. They also have Death Note 13, How to Read. Death Note 13 is pretty much a character data book with a one-shot in it as well, Death Note C Kira Story. So, it's technically the 13th volume. Would I say it's required in every collection? No. Would I say the one-shot changes anything? No. It's just cool. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So Devil May Cry 3, the manga, Volume 1, or Code 1 is Dante, and Code 2 is Virgil. Code 2 focuses more on Virgil, but not exclusively on Virgil. And Code 1 focuses on Dante, but not exclusively on Dante. But pretty much exclusively on Dante. There's just a few scenes of Virgil in it. There's also, this Code 3 lady, but Code 3 was never actually released, so that was too bad. It was hinted at, but for some reason it just never happened. Nobody really knows why it never happened, but it just didn't. Anyways, this follows Dante as he's given a task by this guy Enzo. And if you're curious, Dante has this past relationship with Enzo in the novels as well. And it's thought that Enzo is actually the same Enzo as from Bayonetta. So if you guys are big into these platinum games / action games like this, it's kind of cool to know that these two series cross like that. But this is pretty much a prequel to Devil May Cry 3, so if you guys really enjoy Devil May Cry 3, I definitely think that this is worth a read. Is this a masterpiece manga? No, totally not. But is it interesting? Absolutely. It kind of shows how Virgil is able to raise up the tower. It shows how Dante awakens to his demon powers. It's pretty neat. Essentially, though, Dante has to save Alice from this white rabbit thing. But it kind of goes off from that because he finds Virgil. I'm pretty sure that this actually never finds a resolution. I think that was the point of the Code 3, but it never happened, so just kind of weird. But yeah, the two codes are very cool. I think the covers are probably the coolest bit of the whole thing. It is written by Suguro Chayamachi, who I don't think writes the I don't think they write the novels either. But in any case, Lady's in this as well, which is pretty cool. And Alice is an analogy of Alice in Wonderland. She has to stay away from the Mad Hatter. and this rabbit is trying to protect her, but also not. It's kind of weird, kind of cool. Definitely worth checking out, though, if you're interested in Devil May Cry and Bayonetta, no doubt. D.Gray-man is a series that's kind of gotten lost to time, in my opinion. It's a super good series about a character named Alan Walker, as he kind of tries to discover himself, as well as this world that he finds himself in. He has to defeat these things called Akuma in order to make sure, people don't die. He is trying to essentially save the world. However, Alan eventually finds out that he may actually be the one to end the world. And so Alan has to fight with this duality of who he is, because he's not just Alan, but he's also something else. So this is a pretty cool story. It has some Christian overtones, such as Noah's Ark. They have to defeat the Noah. They also have a very kind of like Victorian/Gothic design. This series, though, is really cool. It's kind of dark. It's kind of spooky. It's like a permanent Halloween manga. It's described as an adventure, dark fantasy, science fiction. It's comedic. It's got great action. I definitely recommend reading it. But the other thing that it also has in common with a lot of famous manga and popular manga is it has hiatuses. So this manga has been in hiatus for a while. It started coming out in 2004 with the first volume, and the last or most recent volume is the 27th volume in 2020. And so to only come up with, what is that, 30 volumes in 16 years, it's about 2 a year-ish, but it still is quite crazy to think of how often this manga's on hiatus. It used to be weekly, now it's moving more towards monthly, but even then it's not coming out very consistently. And let's see, when was the last big hiatus? So in 2014, volume 24 came out. In 2013, volume 24 came out. In 2016, 25 came out. And then in 2019, 26 came out, followed by 2020, volume 27, which is where we're at now. There are only 4 chapters not in a collected volume, meaning there's been only 4 months since August. So that should be December. So that means that we're missing a few months there. About 5, actually. So, the series has been riddled with hiatuses. And, that's fine. It's cool. The author actually has a big issue with arthritis and other health problems. But, man, I just want to see this series end. It is so good. I am dying to see the ending. It's like, I know I shouldn't push the artist or, to, like my say has any word in it or gravity to it. But, it's like, I know I shouldn't, kind of promote that. But, at the same time, it's like, can't you just finish it in one humongous chapter, please? So I can just read it and then you can relax and just totally collect the royalties. But anyways, Hoshino is a beautiful artist. She actually wanted to be an animator when she was young, and her parents were like, you can't be an animator. It's not that easy. So she went to Tokyo to become an animator, and you know what? She could not become an animator. So that was cool. She eventually decided to go to try and become a manga artist after a while. She kept trying to be an animator in different towns, Tokyo, and then she moved outwards trying to get a different job somewhere else, but it was a little difficult for her. She's actually even the younger of fraternal twins, and so she's second of the 3 children, which is pretty interesting, in my opinion. It's always cool to see that in my mind, because I always think back to the Kishimoto twins. So she also used to read the Dragon Quest Dai manga volumes, which if you guys haven't read it, definitely should. I'm definitely interested in reading it. And then she began to be a fan of Castle in the Sky, and she also started drawing because she liked Sailor Moon so much. So yeah, I definitely recommend checking out this series if you haven't read it before. It's really cool, and the character designs and art is great, as well as the vibe of the whole series. So that's D.Gray-man. Okay, so D.N.Angel follows the adventures of this character Daisuke Niwa, an average teenage boy. The story's opening declares Daisuke declares his love for his crush, a girl named Risa Harada, on his 14th birthday. She rejects him, and later that day, heartbroken Daisuke undergoes a strange mutation that turns him into another person. He is told calmly by his mother, Emiko, that because of this strange genetic condition, all males in the Daisuke family gain the countenance of Dark Mausi. Mausi? I don't know. A famous phantom thief. The transformation occurs every time Daisuke has romantic feelings for his crush or whenever he thinks too long about her. Dark changes back into Daisuke the same way. Daisuke is forced to keep his family's secret and control his alter ego Dark, whom Risa, Daisuke's crush, has a crush on. Oof! Spicy. While dashing his way out of being cocked by the commander of the police, Daisuke learns that in order to return back to normal, he must have his unrequited love returned. So this is like a very kind of interesting series. Dark, I kind of always thought of as like a fallen angel. And there's this other character, I believe his name is Crad, who has the alter ego of another character, kind of fight each other, and he's like an angel. However, the two are friends as, you know, when they're regular kids. So it's an interesting kind of a thing. They obviously don't know each other or each other. But there's also some other cool supernatural stuff. And so I was pretty interested in this series when I was younger. I had the first volume, so I had this like all the way complete. And then somebody never returned them from my school in high school, and then they moved away. Maybe it was middle school, but still, then they moved away, and I was like, "You suck," because they didn't return them, and like I kept being like, at the end of the school year, I was like, "All right, dog, it's the end of the school year, you gotta bring them back." And then she'd be like, "Yeah, but can I have like the rest of the series too?" And I'd be like, "I'll give you the rest of the series when you give that part back." And they were like, "Okay, I'll bring it tomorrow." So I'd be like, "All right, I'll bring mine tomorrow." So I bring it tomorrow, and they'd be like, "Can I have it?" And I'm like, "Do you have it?" And they're like, "No." And I'm like, "No." So yeah, I have to rebuy the first half. Anyways, in 2003, the series went on hiatus, and so they released another manga series that was based on the anime instead. They also then decided to come back from hiatus in 2018. Apparently, the end is coming. Actually just ended in January. I thought it was coming up still, for a total of 18 volumes. I'm not sure how many came out in America, but I do think it was like 9. Nope, it was 14. Wow, it was 14. Oh no, I'm wrong. It was 13. 13. The last one came out in 2009 of December, and so I am still missing quite a bit of them. But that is okay. I plan to finish the series if it ever comes to America. It has a TBA on Wikipedia, which gives me high hopes that it will eventually come out in America. But I am not certain that it will. But we'll see, since Tokyo Pop initially did it. I think Viz Media technically owns the license to it now. But I'm not certain how that all goes. So yeah, it's a total shoujo. It's somewhat interesting, but it's really not the most interesting in the world. It kind of reminds me of Lupin the Third, but like mixed with more seriousness, because you know this alternate being of Daisuke is like a master thief, and then the other guy is like always trying to catch him. So I mean, that's classic Lupin the Third. But yeah, you know, I think it's okay. It's just not great. The only reason why I really want to finish it is because I started it when I was like 12, maybe 14. So I'd really like to just get it over with. Well, not really get it over with. That makes it sound like I'm just trying to read it. But I just want to see the ending of it, since I've read so much of it. I read, you know, all but 5 volumes that came out. No, I think I read a little bit more. However many are on the shelf there, is what I read. And so since there's only 13 of it, I read most of them. So I just want to finish it up and see where it goes, you know? I think that's where I'm going to end it today. Thanks for watching, everybody. Sorry for the delay. This weekend was Mother's Day and my family birthday, because it's my birthday this week, so I spent this weekend with my family. And next weekend is my birthday with my friends, so videos are probably going to be a little delayed this week, last week, and maybe the week after. So, you know, don't think I died. I'm still around. So just the video schedule's going to be a little wonk this next couple of weeks, okay? I probably should have warned you guys, but I thought I could totally do it. But man, oh man, these collection videos take a lot longer than I sometimes always think. So that's kind of what happened here this week. Alright, so thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye.